money. Take money, then you stake money. Stake money, then you make money. Make money, then you take money. Take money, take money. Take money, then you stake money. Stake money, then you make money. Make money, then you take money. Take money. BlaKC Crypto, yeah, that's the new lick, bro. On ramp my fee out to see what it hit for. Came for a flip and it grew by the XO. I don't know what's next, so I keep watching Hexo. Foot on the gas, I ain't talking no petrol. Hope bitches say let's go, so post chain can explode.
Muted.
Hey, welcome to Couples in Crypto. It's BlaKC Crypto and BlaK HEXican, my wife, and we're here at trying to help you guys follow us as we go 100% crypto as a couple.
Absolutely. We are pretty soon going to be embarking on a family journey. And so we want to live stream. We want people to be a part of this whole journey. This is something that's like very new and special for us. So we just want to invite the community in to be a part of what we're doing. I asked my husband to do this show because I feel like a lot of couples that I meet in crypto, especially when talking to the ladies, most of us were drawn into it because of our spouse. And because of that, the dynamics of, you know, what we invest in, how we participate, how we stake, and all these things, they seem to change, and they have different perspectives coming from
Right.
the woman or coming from the man.
And you see it on the tour when you we meet all these couples, and you know it's not just a man doing it and someone doing it on their own. It is a team kind of effort, you know, and it's gotten to the point to where my wife is now starting to teach me things that I never even knew in crypto. She spent a lot of time with the Crypto Sparkle team. So those guys have a lot of knowledge. I learned a lot from those guys early in the tour. So just sharing everything that we've learned and bringing it together and reaching out to the community and seeing what else you guys have to bring so we can all learn together and grow.
Yeah. So before we get like really into what this show is about, really talking with other couples, talking with them, finding out how they got into crypto, what advice do they have, giving other couples that are in crypto, I figured first we should probably like start with our story, right? Maybe like how we got together, you know, going all the way.
Let's keep the crypto. Let's keep it
all the way back when. How long we been together, sir?
100. How many years?
You don't even know, do you?
At least 15.
At least 15. Actually, let's see. We will be celebrating our 16th wedding anniversary. No, I'm sorry. I am wrong. We've been together 16 years. We are going to be celebrating our 11th wedding anniversary at the end of this month on May 31st. So
May 30th.
Oh, our daughter's birthday is May 31st. See? He has to help me sometimes too.
Yeah. But it's been a long journey, and you know, it started with us working together. You know, we went to school, not the same college, but you know, in the same kind of small community, college community. And I remember us in our final exam for our college class. You know, we took our final exam for both of our, you know, master's classes and try and put it together as a single project. You know, working together. Mm-hmm. And just so many things to just collaborate, where you always just see Casey and Kaylin, like we're always up to something, you know, doing something, whether it's a music video. We started music videos in college.
You know, that's crazy because I was actually going to tell this story. Like, you know, people always say like, what was that moment when you knew that person was the one? Or like, and for me growing up, I always knew that I had to marry someone that I could work with, that I could, you know, set goals with. I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit, right? Where I don't want to work for somebody else. I want to work for myself and build up that way. And we were, like you said, in our senior year. Do you remember that marketing class that I was taking?
Yeah.
You remember that assignment? We had to do a marketing pitch for McDonald's. And because you were writing, you know, since I've known you, you've been making music. But because, you know, that was your skill set and I wanted to, you know, work on this with you, we decided to do a jingle.
Mm.
And
that's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so we had a really tight-knit friend group. And so one of my one of my best friends. We used to make music all the time as a duet, and he's one of the reasons I met Kaylin. You know, so that kind of the trio. We all used to always spend a lot of time together, and yeah, BKC. That's kind of where we got it started up.
That's
you know,
where it
BlaKC.
started.
You know, it really kind of got started in that little.
Yeah, BKC Media Group was our first joint effort, joint project. And, you know, all these years later, we're still BKC,
Yeah.
you know, BlaKCrypto, BlaK HEXican. So, yeah, that's where, you know, it started going all the way back to college. Then we graduated, and I'm originally from San Diego. And so, of course, I dragged him. I mean, if you have to choose between San Diego and Texas, what you gonna do?
What are you thinking?
So we moved back to San Diego. I grew up in the church. Our churches had schools. We were starting a family. We had our first youngest baby girl, and I wanted to be an active part of her daily life. Even if she was in school, I wanted to be there full time. And it was like you kind of seemed like you felt the same way.
No, and when you talk about when you knew somebody was the one, you know, I remember when I first came up with the idea of, you know, turning BlaKC into like a business. And you know, we all get these ideas and we want to start our own business venture. And I went and I had all these t-shirts made and I made them myself, you know, just kind of hand print paint on t-shirts. And I bought all this, spent all this money on camera equipment, and I had a printer where I was kind of, you know, jack of all trades, master of none sort of thing. And you know, Caitlin was one of the first people who really supported me, and she was there with me at an event. And you know, I'm handing out flyers and t-shirts. People are just walking past, throwing my CDs on the ground, and I'm looking and you kind of feeling, you know, disheartened. But I saw her with my shirt on, still working just as hard as I was to put my name out there. You know, that kind of just showed me that, you know, she's gonna be with me, you know, regardless.
That's what you knew.
That's what I knew. When I looked at it, I was kind of feeling in some kind of way, and I saw my little etch paint on your back. And so, you know, but
you were revealing all the juice because we weren't even dating then.
You know. But I bring that up to say, you know, just us working together though. Coming back home, it was a big goal of yours to help, you know, bring the family business back to prominence where it could have been, you know, what the potential was, you know. So it was a lot of enthusiasm, and I just want to do what I could to help you reach those goals. You know, I had a lot of faith in you and what you thought we could, you know, accomplish. And most of what we set out to accomplish, we did. You know, we accomplished a lot in those years. So it was about the work for me, you know.
Yeah. And then just to, you know, kind of move into crypto, like you said, for all these years, we've always had the desire to, you know, diversify, to dibble in this and dabble in this. And so poker was that was really, I feel like, what really brought us into crypto. I mean, you know, you've always been a bit of a nerd and a deep diver into, you know, new technologies and different things. So you had heard about Bitcoin. I remember you telling me about this one guy that said that all you needed was one Bitcoin.
Yeah, and you know, another thing about coming to San Diego, it was my first time. You know, you were the first one who ever took me to Vegas. That was my first experience at a casino. You know, San Diego, having all those small Indian reservations and the opportunity to play poker. That was when poker was first getting really big on ESPN.
Yeah,
and a lot of the competition. So it was, you know, it was a big thing for people to actually play. And you kind of gave me my indoctrination into the whole.
We dove right in to the point to where when it became, you know, not Full Tilt was the poker site that I got like really into, and then they made it where you couldn't, you know, they locked our accounts, you couldn't play poker anymore, but you had always kind of still been doing a little sports betting. And so you were like, hey, babe, check out this site. You know, they still have poker rooms. The key is that you have to deposit in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this Bitcoin stuff?
Yeah, that was the Pandora's box.
Yeah, that's what opened it up. And I remember I won a tournament at one point, and I took out the majority of the winnings, but I think I must have left like a few $100s in there.
Right.
Thinking, you know, I'm gonna play another tournament soon, so I'll just leave it there. And then I came back, and this was in what 2017,
yeah, the bull
when it
run.
ran up to 20,000, and I had like a few $100. The next thing I know, I open my phone and it's like $6,000. So then I'm like, oh, I should buy more, you know. And then so we kind of ran that wave up to 20K, and then watched it come back down to like 11, and I think it had like another little bounce back to like 14 or something, and then
The relief
we
rally.
sold. Yeah,
it was good for us because, you know, we didn't spend a lot of time in Bitcoin as investors. You know, it was more for utility for us. So it wasn't hard for us to kind of, you know, not ride that wave all the way to the floor and hodl through it. And then, you know, we didn't have a bad taste in our mouth to come back for the next bull run.
yeah.
I feel like we were more amped to get back into the crypto space
Yeah.
quicker than a lot of people were.
And then so when you know, the big C, you know, keep it unnamed, hit in 2020, I think this was the first time in the entire, you know, 13, 14 years at that time that we have been working for the school that is, you know, with our family's church. This was the first time where I like questioned whether or not we were going to have jobs to go back to. Like, were the schools going to reopen? Were enough families going to come back to be able to like really pay our salaries? You know, I just didn't know what the future was to hold. And, you know, working in private school, you know, that's one thing to say, oh, yeah, eventually kids are going to go back to school. But online, like, let's just say that everything stayed online, you know, it stayed online for long enough. But, you know, even past that, like, had it, you know, went years and years, you really start to question, you know, are parents willing to pay for private education if that child care component is not a part of it too? And so we went looking for other means, like, you know, if this doesn't work out and we don't have jobs to go back to, you know, how are we going to support our family?
Right. And, you know, with myself, it was, for one, with education, it's really serious. So you don't want to, you know, cheat a child for education, you know. So for one, we didn't want to go back and open the school if we couldn't do everything that we could. So we knew that it was a chance that we couldn't open it back up. So that was my first chance in seriously looking for an alternative for employment, you know. And, you know, me looking for an opportunity, I wanted to get into a field where that wasn't saturated already, where everyone was already, you know, taking over all the opportunities, you know. So it's a lot of people. Robinhood was big in that, to where everyone kind of rushed to
so that's what investing. I did. I rushed over to Robinhood, where you kind of you know, use this as a time to like teach yourself. You like really deep dove into YouTube videos on learning how to, you know, develop and reading code.
And the funny thing is flash loans. You know, my biggest, you know, I found out that flash loans were a thing where you could code and get money, borrow money, and make money on that loan without having to have any in the beginning. Like, that was magic to me, you know. So when I first learned about smart contracts and those possibilities, that really what made me wanted to really get into crypto, not as an investor, but really find out, you know, what is this this new industry that 1% of the world knows about, you know. So that was my focus, is really gaining some kind of tangible skill, you know, during this time off, you know.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was just gambling. I was just, you know, jumping from every red stock that I saw. I'm like, well, eventually it's got to go green. So, you know, let me get these cruise ships, these hotels,
airplanes.
Airplanes. You know, I was just hopping from one to one. And, you know, of course, I did pretty good because at this point, everything was so low down that it only had, you know, up to go. But when it really got risky was when I decided to try to like play the options game. And, you know, it was back and forth. I'd have some really good days and then some really rough days. And then I'm looking over here at DeFi Summer, and I'm like,
well, I mean, you know, don't feel bad, because before I found DeFi. You know, my first intro into crypto, I found the crypto space, and then all the Furus, you know, and I found the Ivan on Tech and MMC and all these guys, and everyone was trading Bitcoin, trading on leverage. So trading the Bitcoin chart, you know, we were together in that Robinhood stage, but it was just, I was more on the crypto side. But we still weren't, you know, doing crypto the right way yet. You know, I still was the only true exposure I had to Bitcoin. I was trading it on leverage. So yeah, we still were learning. And you know, that DeFi summer kind of really.
So how did you end up finding Richard Hart?
the Furus. You know, I kind of did a deep dive into Ivan on Tech. He's one of the more developer influencers, and not so much just crypto. And he did interview Richard, so I do want to give him credit because he is one of the few that did give Hex a fair shot. He never, spoke ill of Hex. He had Richard on twice. So, but that interview with Richard really opened my eyes into, what he was all about. It made me do the deep dive into all of his stuff, and I was hooked. Once I first, because I had Hex. Before I even knew who Richard Hart was, I had Hex just because, as a community, it was so loud. You saw the Twitter ads, the negative talk about Hex. So I had a little bag of Hex just for exposure. But once I found out who Richard Hart was, and you found out about the project and the tokenomics, you just, it doesn't make sense to have anything else.
Yeah, I mean, once you explained it to me and really got me to understand the T-share, then it was pretty much a game changer for me. And I'm all in, and now I'm a full-time HEXican with a little post on the side, right? But yeah, so that's pretty much the story of how we came into crypto. We have a guest couple that is here with us tonight, and we want to learn a little bit more about them. How they found each other, and then how they found crypto. So without further ado, we have.
Hola.
How's it going, guys?
Hola, guys. ¿Cómo estás?
Thanks for inviting us to this show.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys being here. So what's been going on with you two lately? Where are you guys at these days?
But we're in Colombia right now, and we're not in our own apartment. We're in HEXline's apartment. Everybody who watches my stories can watch my live, basically live time. And we had to rush a lot. That's why I'm sweating. Anyways, we have a great time here. I just wanted to show my Insta really quick.
Getting professional.
Yeah, we know you guys aren't at your house because you guys have one of the best sets going right now. That wall, those lights you guys normally have. Oh, I love it.
I brought those lights from the workshops from the 5555 tour. I love them. I would not travel without them.
All the way to Colombia.
All the way to Colombia. I even paid extra luggage because of that, but it's worth it because you don't find this kind of stuff here in Colombia. It's hard.
Yeah.
But anyways, we were listening to you guys talking how you had your journey in crypto and stuff like this, and everything reminded me of myself. When we have been on tour, Kaylin, when we talked to all the HEXicans, every single HEXican reminded me of myself. This is our life. It's a HEXican lifestyle. I talked about that on Instagram today as well.
Yeah. So for some of the viewers that may not know you guys, just tell us, how long have you guys been together? Your relationship story a little bit.
For sure. I think you can tell us the best.
I can tell the best? Okay. So we met in December. I was actually going to their house in Miami. At the time, I was running IV Balance Bar Miami. So Ricky called me, Agape, Hex called me. So he said, hey, we would like some IV therapy treatments. So I was like, sure. It was only 6 minutes away from my house. And I ended up just giving them IVs. And after that, I was hanging out with them for 4 hours. I canceled all my other clients. It was interesting. They were just so cool. I've never met people like them. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, how did we pay you, right? You saw our lifestyle, you saw all our merch, and you saw that we were into something. And we told you, hey, we can pay you in Hex. And Jorita did it right away.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They asked me they told me a little bit of what they're doing, and I was just so impressed. And we connected. So they said, you know what, you should get paid in Hex. And I'm like, what do I have to lose? At this point, it's $700. Even if they're playing me, it's okay. It is what it is. So yeah, they paid me in Hex. And then after that, they called me again. 3 days later, I found out they were calling me because he wanted to see me and he didn't want to talk to me.
I don't think that is true,
but I'm joking. Well, you said this actually. So anyway,
she is mad because I let 3 days pass by. Isn't that the rule? You have to wait 3 days before you call. And she's giving me shit until this day.
Yeah. What? Who gives out these rules anyway? No, we play around all the time, but yeah, that's how I met them. And then after that, it was for Hex Lion's birthday when we connected, and we took it a little bit farther, where I actually kissed him first. So
But that's what the tour
That's so
does.
cool because that trip was my first trip. Really getting away from my family. We all came and joined you in New York and Boston, but
with the kids.
we kind of ditched the kids with the grandparents, and I had a chance to come out to Miami, and I think that's my first time seeing you, Drury, there when those guys had the IVs. And,
Yeah, that's when we met her.
Yeah, but
that's when everybody met me, actually, and that's when I met everybody as well, because it was around that time I was just around. Like I said, I was only 6 minutes away from their house where they were staying, so it was very convenient for me.
Absolutely. So was this your first time like really knowing about crypto, or like having your own crypto? Like, was this your first exposure, or had you already had some exposure before?
So I had some crypto before, never anything, that actually made anything at all. I didn't understand crypto. I was just in it because I knew it was the future, but for some reason it was not my priority to learn. And when other people told me, hey, you need to buy this and this, and I just bought it without even doing any research. So I would say, yes, the first real time getting in onto crypto, actually learning and what it is and taking it very seriously, was when I got introduced to Hex. And obviously with abit every single day, it was just so much easier to learn so much faster, because that's what you do all day long. So it was.
You remember, like you were talking about Hex Lion's birthday, and Hex Lion's birthday, everybody knows, is like New Year's, right? 7 days later, we were on a stream with Richard Hart on Hex online conference, right, from Maddie Allen. On the last day, we talked to Richard Hart, and on this day also, I had a date with Yurida, and it was beautiful. Like, we went to the beach, had a hammock, and I sent her some of this internet money, and I told her, look, there's this sacrifice for Pulse X going on right now. It's the best price for you to do this and sacrifice your money for Pulse X. And now she's the Albanian Pulse X queen, I guess.
Yeah, I'm doing that for sure. I'm doing that. I'm trying to get my people understanding as well. It's enough being ignorant about anything when it comes to financials.
A question I have for you: have your family asked you anything about, this new guy you met and this whole new life you're living? Are they curious? Do you have to tell them?
Yeah, because I kind of left everything for this guy. I started my whole life again, which I'm very adaptable. So it's not, it was not a big deal. But I had just been stable in Miami. Like, I moved to Miami. I was in pharmacy school. I did not want to be a pharmacist, especially as you were saying, Kaylin, earlier with the sea, everything happening. It was just a chaos, right? So I moved to Miami. I opened my own business. It was going very well. And I had to move that again, which, of course, they had to ask me a lot of questions. They're like, what is going on? Are you sure you're not getting kidnapped? I mean, it's just everything is happening so fast. But, and then, so you came to St. Louis. He met my parents because we decided we're going outside of America. So, he was kind of forced to do it.
After the tour, though, right? So after the 7th of January, we were still on tour. We had still to go to Vegas and all those great places, and you were not able to come with us. So basically, for the first time, it was like a 3 months online relationship, right? Like, just on the phone, just on Telegram, just texting each other. And a couple of times we would met on the workshops in Dallas, for example. Where else did we meet? And then I think in Vegas.
Dallas and Vegas.
And and then ever since we are together. And then you mentioned your parents. Like, right after the tour, we went to Miami, and somehow we ended also up in St. Louis, where Yurida's parents still live, and we lived there for 1 week.
Yeah, and they've asked about Hex. They're actually really supportive. Mom and dad are spreading the word like crazy to all of our cousins, although they don't really understand it quite yet. But they've invested in Hex and they've made their stakes. Same with my brother. So I've done my job with my family. Now it's spreading the word with my other family. I have a huge family too.
And it's amazing that the mom was able to do 3 stakes by herself with Staker, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. And now there's like more Hex left for Pulse and Pulse X. Like, she places perfectly. She's like this close to being all in, I bet you.
Yeah. Listen, she has decided she's retiring in September. So yes, she's going all in. And she's actually watching right now. She sent me a screenshot. Oh, she said she's waiting for me. So hey, mom.
That's Abit, #1 on board, boy.
That's awesome. Look, I don't know when Avid, decided that he was serious about you, but I know I could tell that he was serious about you. I mean, I know he probably doesn't even want me to put him on blast like this, but I mean, every time you left, you flew in a couple times, Dallas, just to see him, but every time you left, Avid, that playlist, that music, that Delilah. I mean, that was like the top
Oh
of the
wow.
board. If we have to hear "Hey There, Delilah," one more song.
Oh guys.
Yeah, it was a hard time for me, all right? So I wanted to be with you, Rita, but I couldn't, so.
Hey,
Oh
my kids
man.
had me in San Diego singing Delilah the whole time. I feel
That's his favorite song. I don't think it was because of me. That's just his favorite
No,
song.
no. Normally, I listen like you. Kaylin knows. I listen to heavy metal normally, right? Like this is my playlist, and then just this song reminded me of you. So
Yeah,
that's
it
why I was
just
playing
Well,
it.
changed.
thank you. You're so
I mean,
cute.
the playlist just like totally changed. So no, I knew that you were a great fit for him, especially being that Avid is a true Hexican. And anybody that was going to, capture his heart, they were going to have to really embrace crypto. And I've seen how you've done that. I mean, I love what you're doing. I can't understand your videos because I don't speak the language, but I love what you're doing, to inspire your community to put the message out there in a language where it's probably not that much available.
Yeah, thank you, Kaylin. I really appreciate those kind words, especially from you, because I have seen what you do every single day as well. So it's very nice to be able to fit in with the team. We were actually just having this conversation before we were getting ready here. We were saying how I was just asking him and teasing him and asking, am I not so great? Actually, I'm
Sure.
diving so in. And it's funny because it really fits my personality as well. So it's not like I'm going outside of the box too much. Yes, it's outside of my comfort zone, but it's been challenging. Obviously, like you said, my Albanian is not the best, which is the worst because my English is not the best. So I'm not good at either. But it's been challenging, but I really like it. And whoever listens will listen,
I mean, and
and
that's
whoever doesn't, they'll come around when it's their time. So I'm excited to just put you know some lights into the crypto world, especially because in my country it's not even legal. So like I'll have to come up with ways to teach them of how to do it
I think
after a
it's,
certain point.
I think it's legal. I think it's just hard to get into crypto in Albania because of the banks. You know, the centralized exchanges, they are the worst. But once you have your MetaMask, all in the world, you can do your
Exactly.
crypto, and that's beautiful.
That's what I was going to say so good about Abit. Just putting out the content, and you don't have to be the best speaker. You don't have to have the best content, but just something. You're going to have something that connects with somebody, and just the fact that you're doing your part. Everyone does that little part. I started doing Hex. I thought I was crazy making Hex song and music, and then here's my wife. She's taking over, and it inspires me to keep pushing that message. The fight's not over. We're not done. Just because we've had a tour and we've had a little success as far as getting the message out. There's still a lot to be done. So just being able to do this show and continue to push that message, it's important.
I mean, being able to put a video and just so many eyes to see it, that's amazing to me because I've always said, even if you change one person's life, you have done your job.
Yeah.
But to do it in the scale that we all do it in the community, I mean, it's so beautiful to see. And I'm very grateful to actually have found this because it's helping me in my growth as well, bettering me with my communication and, my editing skills and my creation. And it's been fun. I like it.
And
Yeah.
it's so crazy how every single Hexican does something, right? Some people do YouTube, some people do like maybe business cards, some people do other stuff where they just talk, but everybody is just doing something. So I'm excited for Pulse because it's getting to the network effect, doesn't it? Like how many people do we have now? Like how many people are watching shows, are in the Telegram chat, are engaged? Other communities are joining finally. So it will be crazy now.
Yeah.
I mean, earlier today we researched on YouTube Pulse Chain because right now I'm trying to make more videos of Pulse Chain, so I'm learning from all of the YouTubers, and there is so many, even not Hexicans yet, that are actually making videos about Pulse Chain. So that is going to be so interesting when it finally launches to see how everybody's going to
Yeah.
act. I'm excited.
So I'm working on this little game, and I'm gonna add it to our stream. I'm gonna see if I can make it a little bigger. Can I
think
make
he
it
is
bigger?
best.
I don't know if I can.
Ah.
But the point is, and I asked you guys, and I did it last minute, so you guys probably didn't have time to download like the whiteboard app, so we can just like talk it out. But it's just an interactive game where there's a couple questions, and I just want to see if you guys agree on your answers.
Let's see.
So let's give this a try. See if we can get this thing to work. All right. Do I have to press stop too, or?
It's getting slower, I think.
Kaylin hasn't been in Vegas in a long time, huh?
Right. Ooh. Let's
The
give
first date?
this one to Abit, since he did kind of mention this earlier. Where was your first date?
It was in Florida, Helendale Beach, Miami, on the beach in a hammock, basically in front of the beach. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Like that one. Let's hide that one and give it
But is
another.
that correct? I really
Yeah, that was our first date. After you made me wait 3 days.
All right, Jory. If you're going out to dinner tonight, what cuisine are you having?
We are actually going to dinner tonight after this stream. We were talking about it before I got here to Patrick's. We don't know yet. We don't plan at all. What we do is we just walk, and whatever we see that we like, we just go in. Yeah,
You guys
I don't know
have
if it's a
lot
good
of
thing.
shared interest when it comes to your foods.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, you either eats vegetarian or vegan, and I just try to copy that, and that's so good to me. I'm like, look at my pictures. I put out a tweet, or you did put out a tweet today on Instagram. Like,
Richard Hart liked it.
You guys doing Hex Fit?
Are you doing the
What is
crypto
it?
food challenge?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, I'm on it. I'm honored to win it. Let's see.
Exactly. No, let's see. We're gonna win.
All right, let's see
No,
if we
let's
can
see
get a crypto
here.
question this time. Oh my god! I was trying to get a crypto question, but it's coming up with the other ones.
Oh, you have
Who said
crypto
I love
questions?
you first?
Yeah, who has to answer? I do not know. You?
Well, who said it? You said it, so it's okay.
I said
if
it
you
first. I do not know.
Oh, come on now.
I can barely remember what I ate yesterday, so I do not know. Was it you or me?
That's not what he says, guys. That's not what he says when he's with me.
Let's give it one more spin and see if we can get a crypto question. I tried to like even it out with, right? I'm just gonna, if they don't give it to me, I'm just gonna pick it myself. Let's see. Okay. Should married couples combine or keep their money separate? Let's ask you that first, Jory.
Well, luckily in crypto, you have your own wallet, right? So you must have your own wallet. But I don't think anybody should have like, oh, you pay for this, you pay for that. I think anybody just wing it. But definitely have your own wallets.
What do you think, David?
Exactly, like you have to have your own wallet. You have your own wallet that you sacrificed your money for PulseX, but we made it like this because it's so important. This is the #1 rule that we are teaching on the tour: be your own bank. And how are you your own bank if somebody else is holding your keys? This is a fundamental thing.
Yeah, I've actually had this discussion with couples before because I feel like there are times where people stay in relationships because they feel like they are tied financially. Like if they don't, if they leave their spouse, then and they hold all the finances, then they'll be starting all over from scratch. And so I've been a big advocate, that wives should have, even if you're new to crypto and your husband has been in, he's an OG with, all the huge bags. That doesn't mean that you can't start something for yourself, because I would hate for you to stay in a relationship that's not healthy for you just because, your fear of losing finances.
Exactly. No, that's a big one.
Yeah. So they didn't give me the question that I wanted, so I just pulled it off the screen, and I'm going to ask it myself as my final question for the evening. if you were to receive 5,000 USDC airdrop to your wallet with no expectations, what would you swap it for? Let's get Abit's answer first.
It's pretty easy for me. I have to answer this question all the time. I would buy Hex, I would buy Maxi, and I would even buy PLSD with that money. And then like even it out. Have a cool ratio that you like, you know?
Nice. What do you think?
Same thing with me. I'm exposed to PulseX. I don't have a lot of exposure in Pulse, so definitely get a lot of exposure in Pulse and more exposure in PulseX. And obviously Maxi. Hedron, I don't know much about, so I have to learn that, but definitely those four.
Yeah. And how do you feel about Pulse Doge?
I have not done any research at all, but I trust Abit. He says that it's good, so I have not claimed anything though just yet.
Exactly, like this is the question, like why haven't you been interested in this meme coin? Because it was given out free to stakers, and you only had like little stakes to try it out, try out the staking ladder. And I do not even know if it's worth the transaction cost right now because of Ethereum, of course. But let's see.
Yeah, we shall see. But like I said, I haven't done enough research either. So
right now it's the time to buy Pulse Doge, how it looks like, because the prices are going up. The people are liking the stuff. So this is sometimes what you have to take the opportunity of.
Over and you kind of know what the supply is. You know, it may be, you know, now may be the best opportunity before everyone is, you know, before the supply is known. You know, kind of getting in and becoming that whale and getting that good position.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with your $5,000, Kayla? Maxi,
there at some point I probably would have said Maxi. The price is a little higher than I expected it to be so fast. So I probably wouldn't be buying more Maxi right now. In all honesty, I'd probably fill the whole 5K in the Hex. Number one, Pulse is not available yet. PulseX is not available yet. And I want something that I feel comfortable, confident in to be already there when we have fork to where I can switch it for Pulse or for PulseX or, you know, whatever.
It's crazy.
So the reason why we are saying Hex or Maxi is because there will be the most liquidity on Pulse X when the fork comes out. Definitely Hex will have the most liquidity. Maxi will also have a lot of liquidity, so you can play with Maxi. And the reason why we with Crypto Sparbuch and KSB TV decided to like do a 50-50 percentage of Maxi and PLSD is that it seems to be that the Maxi people are selling less than the Hex people, and it just makes sense because there's so much less Maxi people, you know, and they're diehard HEXicans.
And when you really think about it, so are the Pulse Doge people, because the only people that have it really, I mean, yeah, some have been bought off market now, but it was given free to stakers, yeah. Right? And it was, I really did like his distribution method to not, you know, just throw it at all the whales and the sharks who, you know, could care less. Their bags are so big that they'd likely just dump it. Where the dolphins, you know, are big. They're big players, but they also understand delayed gratification and they're willing to hold to be able to see the type of gains that they saw, you know, with Hex. Like they'll hold it, those diamond hands, diamond dolphins.
For me, Pulse Doge is definitely Pulse Doge coin. We have to say, right? Is definitely coin to free claim, to maybe put a little bit in if you're financially free. Other than that, you just hold it for the fork because there's the most liquidity and probably the most opportunity for me. So like a 50 percentage, or maybe let's say 70% Maxi, 30% PLSD could be cool if you have $5,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So. And not going to hold you guys much longer. I think that, you know, this was an awesome conversation. I just wanted to get to know you guys as a couple and, you know, a little bit more about your crypto journey. Do you guys have any advice for, you know, a new couple who's just now embracing crypto? Any steps or what's the word I'm looking for? Like wise words or, you know, what to be aware of, steer clear of.
And within the relationship or just in general?
Well, either, you know, whatever advice you'd like to give.
Relationship advice.
Well, me personally, I would say to not be fearful. but that goes, it's very broad, right?
Yeah.
That can be applied to anything, but especially when it comes to crypto, because you really have to believe in your product, or you have to know your product so much in order for you to have a healthy relationship as well, right? Because especially through delay gratification, if you are very new at crypto and you have to wait a couple of years, it could be tough, you know? So just no fear, I think, number one. And then the rest, just enjoy. Like, nobody truly understands it 100% completely, because I mean, it's a new technology anyway. So just have fun with it. If you lose, you lose. Obviously, don't sell your house and lose your money. That would be horrible. But if you play around with a little bit, that's how you'll learn.
I think
Yeah.
you're a true HEXican because you are all in, right? You
I sold my car
you cancel your
to buy
business,
some
you
more Hex.
sold your car to get more. You are on the traveling with me, right? Not going after your business. So this is like 100% HEXican, and a lot of people cannot do that. But I wanted to answer it from like the couple side, because for in crypto, of course, only the one thing matters, which is hold your own seed phrase, right? And then for a couple, we are HEXicans 100%, right? Every single second we are working on creating content and onboarding people, and you are the same. And sometimes when there is a deadline to produce a video, you have to do a thumbnail. There are other things you have to do. I have to work on the tour. Where do you do your date night? Where do you do all the other stuff? And then it gets stressful. And we had that a couple of times, right? And we have to realize we are financially free. Every single thing that we do it because we wanted to do. And if things are stressing us out, then it's probably not the right thing to do. And now we just realize, okay, even if it's stressful, just let's be calm, like just be cool and just whip every single day. And this is what we are doing. And every single day we are getting better, right?
Yeah, not only that, but now I just remembered as well, to all my females, especially in my position, you know, you understand crypto way more than me. And sometimes you do things without me understanding, or I don't understand why he's doing what he's doing. So sometimes just let it go. Just follow your man. He knows best when it comes to crypto. In my case, personally. What you're
Let
gonna
the
do?
man lead, right? Let the man lead.
I like
So-
Yeah,
that for sure.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't be in Hex if I didn't let my man lead. So I hear you.
Yeah, and that's a good lesson to the guys too. You know, listen to your ladies, because right hand to the man. My wife, the first time she saw the Hex logo, she said that might be the one. We saw they were making fun of Hex having the someone wrapped the taxi in Hex, the 38 APY,
Yeah.
and just the logo and she was just like, that might be the one you should get into. You know,
Yeah.
not even knowing the name of it or anything. So
Yeah.
and the ladies know.
And then you went and really learned about it and brought me back the T-share. And then I was like, okay, so we don't need a savings anymore.
Yep.
We got Hex. Throw it all
Exactly.
in. So, but yeah, we really appreciate you guys joining us on our first episode of Couples in Crypto. We hope to get to chat with you guys again sometime. I know we're going to spend a lot of time together in this upcoming year on this.
I think we should talk about that. Like, Kaylin, give us the pitch about that. What are we expecting to do in the future? Because it's getting so close. Hey, I wanted to tell you a story. Like, you know that on the tour, I had to book all the apartments, right? Like all the Airbnb. And I always planned only 2 weeks ahead. And so this time, somehow I thought like I have way more time for the next tour and I could plan ahead so much. And now I realized I have to book the apartment in 2 weeks because the next event is already coming up on June 17th, right? The car
19th.
show.
Yeah, June 19th. Yeah.
So now I have to look into Airbnb apartments already. I looked, asked a couple HEXicans where are good areas. You probably have to shoot me some areas as well where I can get good deals and stuff.
Oh,
But
yeah.
only
San Diego is
ahead.
beautiful.
Starting all over again.
Exactly. So, Kaylin, what are we expecting to do in 2 weeks with the tour coming up and stuff?
Yeah, so I can't believe we're 1 month away, June 19th. So look, don't rush me too much. 2 weeks, you had me like, oh my God.
4 weeks.
Oh yeah, no,
weeks.
it is 2 weeks after I have no apartment here in Colombia anymore. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, 2 weeks after post check. No.
I was just about to say, Kaylin.
Yeah. So we're gonna start in my hometown of beautiful San Diego. Our first workshop though is not until Los Angeles because we're focusing on these major, huge markets. But in San Diego, we're gonna have some fun. We're going to do the car show down by the beach. Likely we're going to hit up a Padres game. There is a HEXican who has a beach house in Del Mar, which is one of the most beautiful beach cities in California. And so right now we're working to get that clubhouse a date solidified so that we can do a HEXican meetup there. And we're just, we're going to hit up colleges. We're going to onboard. We're going to do it like we wanted to do it last time. I'm going to say that.
I'm excited.
Everything we wanted to do last time, we're going to do it this time.
So right now I'm planning to be at the car show and then a couple of days later at the college, right? And we're still thinking, where should we go? We want to have a base somewhere in America. It's probably going to be Miami, and then we'll probably fly in and fly out all the time. Since now we have like those 8 major workshops, and like all the other ones are just college visits. It's going to be easy for us.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to having you guys with us. It's going to be amazing.
I can't wait either. Thank you so much for having us and for making this happen and for making the tour happen too.
Thank you so much, Kaylin. I know you're working really, really hard. We all do. And I love to see what is coming out of that. In like 1 month, everything will happen. And I'm really excited about that. Like everybody should go to ksb.tv now and look how you can support the tour. The million poster, it's going to be epic. We have only 1 lunch here, right? And this time we will do it right.
Absolutely. So like he said, visit ksb.tv, come by Twitter and follow us there for all the updates. You can find both Abit and Jory _Hex on Twitter. They also both have YouTube pages, so please follow them. And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all those buttons on this video here. It has been our absolute pleasure. We just want to say thank you to everybody that's in the chat. I see we got K4K came through, Hex Huddle, DJ Pauly, Casey. We really appreciate you guys. Bit Finesse, our first stream, and you guys coming out to support us. So if there's nothing else, any final words from you guys?
Thank you, Kaylin, for having us. I'm looking forward to do that again. The tour is coming up, and I just can tell everybody, go out to your family, tell them about crypto, and then go out and like build a community. That's what everybody should do.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abit. Thanks to say X-Line, say what up. Nice apartment.
I will.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Guys.
To learn.
Oh, are we still?